Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all our distinguished guests and attendees joining us from across the country. We are looking ahead and we are running right on time. We would continue our session from 4 o'clock. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to drop in chats or in our Q&A sessions. Today we have a lineup of eminent speakers, Mr. Tejas Joshi, who is a sustainability strategist and design intervention expert with 30 plus years of experience. We also have with us Mr. Farhad Contractor. He's a renowned ecological conservationist with work spanning over 9,500 plus water structures and three river ecosystems. Then we would have with us Mr. Dhirendra Madan. He is Chairman Mahima Group and a green infrastructure advocate and Chairman of IGBC Jaipur chapter currently. We would have with us Mr. or let's say architect Gaurav Parshad. He's a young and passionate bioclimatic architect working at the intersection of design and technology. Then we would have Dr. Mansi Balbhargav. She's a researcher, mentor, and voice for water and women in the built environment. And then, last but not the least, we would have Dr. Mamta Sharma, who is a celebrated environmental toxicologist, an educator with 7 patents and 100 plus publications. You would have any questions while listening to their address, please join up. Drop in your questions in the chat as we go along, and we will try to take as many questions as the time permits. Thank you. अंशुल, मेरा एक सवाल, मेरे पैनलिस्ट दिख रहे हैं कि नहीं दिख रहे हैं? ऊपर।
हेलो हेलो
नहीं, ये विजिबल है लाइव के ऊपर कि नहीं? लाइव पे मेरा म्यूट करो ना। आपको पैनलिस्ट वाली होगी ना?
हेलो Can I be
हेलो मिस्टर
heard?
फरहाद।
Am I audible?
Yes, Mr. Farhad, you are. Am I audible to you?
Yes. What time are we starting? 4?
We have a lineup of eminent speakers. Mr. Tejas Joshi, who is a sustainability strategist and मैं पहले बोल चुकी हूँ। ये वाली शीट कहाँ से देनी? Are my panelists visible? My concern is that. We have only Mr. Farhad है panelist में से.
राहुल राहुल वापस क्यों ज्वाइन कर अरे भाई पैनलिस्ट को फोन लगाओ ना हाँ तेरे सर को कर दिया और बाकी लोगों को बाकी कर दिया आप साइन इन कीजिए यहाँ पर इनमें से कौन सी आइडिया अकाउंट कौन सा एसोसिएटेड है से पासवर्ड नहीं आ रहा पासवर्ड है मेरा पासवर्ड कौन चाहिए
नहीं, आपका पैनलिस्ट वाला जो ईमेल लिंक है
पासवर्ड है नहीं
तो आप उसे डायरेक्ट लिंक से क्लिक करके चलिए ना।
वो भी खुला ना वो मैं ईमेल आईडी से पासवर्ड मांग रहा है सर आपका पीसी पे कर लूंगा एक बार
ईमेल आईडी कहाँ है आपकी?
लोगों को तो इश्यूज नहीं आ रहा है
नहीं, मिस्टर फरहाद तो ज्वाइन करके। Mr. Farhad, we are just waiting for the others to join in. People we have with us, Mr. Farhad Contractor. He's a renowned ecological conservationist with work spanning 9,500 plus water structures and restoration of three river ecosystems. That's a commendable job for a lifetime. Thank you so much, Mr. Farhad. for joining us here. And we are waiting for the other panelists to join in so that we can start our conversation.
Yeah, no problem.
People, we have Mr. Tejas Joshi with us now. Mr. Tejas Joshi is a sustainability strategist and he's a design intervention expert with 30 plus years of experience. And that speaks a lot about the gentleman himself. Even before the green building or water wars was a buzzword, he has been a water evangelist since then.
Thank you very much. So we are waiting for others to join, or we just start? Hi, Farhad.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
We are just waiting, I believe, for some other people to come in.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for helping us envision this webinar. And had it not been your forthrightness and your coming forward, probably we wouldn't have made this come to fruition in such a short span of time.
They must be joining.
They might be. We have a staggering number of attendees. As of now, it's 89 people, but then we have had good number of registrations, and we have a digital participation certificate for all of them,
Great, great.
which would be mailed to them once their attendance is confirmed.
Farhad, you're in a Mandwa right now?
I'm in Mandava.
Mandawa, sorry, yeah, Mandawa. Okay. Hello, sir.
Man of the hour.
Hi. गुड आफ्टरनून सर मैं एंड नागेंद्र जी यहाँ साथ में अहमदाबाद में हैं लोग भी ज्वाइन सुबह ही when are we starting? Yeah.
I am thinking of giving them 5 more minutes because other panelists are also waiting to join. Or we can commence with this. Your suggestion, sir, because time is of an issue here.
So let's what? Let's start in 2 minutes.
Sure, sir.
Sure. Sure.
I was expressing my gratitude towards the two gentlemen that their forthrightness and their willingness basically helped us to make this come to life. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. जी सर बस एक और स्पीकर, दो स्पीकर्स और बचे. Audience we have 95 as of now. As
You
of
are in mute, I guess. Yeah.
okay, sure. Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all our distinguished panelists, guests, and attendees joining us from across the country and beyond. We are truly honored and grateful to host today's session under the theme Water Sustainability in Indian Real Estate Scenario. And we thank you for choosing to be a part of this urgent and essential conversation on the occasion of World Water Day today. We have a staggering number of 300 registrants with us, and the number is still increasing. And we hope that they get to join us right on time. Special welcome to our keynote speaker, Mr. Anand Mishra, the man of the hour. He's the managing director at Trimurty Group, an industry leader and a passionate advocate for sustainable development. Joining him would be our eminent speakers, Mr. Tejas Joshi. He is a sustainability strategist and design intervention expert with 30 plus years of experience. We have with us Mr. Farhad, Contractor. He's a renowned ecological conservationist with work spanning 9,500 plus water structures and restoration of three river ecosystems. We would be joined by Mr. Dhirendra Madan. He is Chairman Mahima Group, Green Infrastructure Advocate, and Chairman of IGBC Jaipur Chapter. We would also be joined by architect Gaurav Parshad. He is a young and passionate bioclimatic architect working at the intersection of design and ecology. We would have with us Dr. Mansi Balbhargav, researcher, mentor, and voice for water and women in the built environment. And we have with us, last but not the least, a very eminent name, Dr. Mamta Sharma. She's a celebrated environmental toxicologist and educator with 7 patents and 100 plus publications. Thank you all for those who have joined, and thank you all for all those who are about to join us. Thank you for making this come to fruition. Thank you. I would now like to invite Mr. Anand Mishra to set the context. But before that, I just want to set out the certain format announcement to you. We have a power packed session ahead featuring voices that are shaping the sustainability initiative in India and beyond. Each speaker will have 10 minutes to share their insights. We will wrap up with a brief Q&A session, so feel free to drop your questions in the chat as we go along. We will try to take as many questions as the time permits. And the speakers, kindly also mention that whom you are addressing the question to, which speaker you are addressing the question to. Now, to begin this important dialogue, it is my privilege to invite our keynote speaker, a leader who not only envisioned green real estate before it became a buzzword, but also acted on it project after project. He is a past chairman of IGBC's Jaipur chapter, a sustainability evangelist, and someone who believes that urban growth and environmental responsibility must go hand in hand. A pioneer who embraced green building long before it became a movement. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Mr. Anand Mishra, Managing Director, Trimurty Group.
Thank you, Subhi. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a matter of immense pride to present this webinar on water sustainability on World Water Day. And water as a subject is very close to my heart. So, it is the closeness is, when I see water getting wasted, so I feel as if, someone is wasting oil. That is how I look at water. You must have seen the film Madagascar. So there was this character Alex who went hungry for 3 4 days, and when he came back to his friends, so he was looking at everyone as a piece of meat. So similarly, I look at water everywhere as a as oil. And another, incident many years ago, around 2005-6, when real estate wasn't really high in 2005-6. So I was having dinner at some nice restaurant, and then there were these two three people, on the next table. They were discussing, ki, Jaipur real estate is going to collapse, and the other person asked him, why do you think so? So he mentioned, because how will, the way population is increasing, the way demand is increasing, the way Jaipur is increasing, how will they get water? But, and it actually got me into that deep thinking back then. Yes, and, ultimately our main bread and butter and everything is real estate. So being invested so much in real estate, I started thinking, yeah, that person made sense, and at least I as a developer should look at. I started looking at water as a very important ingredient of my business, and that is what got me into the conservation thing, and my inclination is because of that. So the good thing is that humans are really agile, and we any problem that comes our way, we find solution as a race. So we there are already working a lot on water sustainability. But I feel that a lot needs to be done. A lot more is required to be done. Being a developer, when I really look at the master plan of our cities, so water harvesting, water management seems to be missing. The responsibility has been shifted onto the house owners or the developers to save water. So by way of making recharge structures, so recharge structures cannot be undermined, but at the same time we are losing a lot of water, which is going waste, getting drained, and ultimately getting wasted. So that is an area that we as the planners have to see. That is an area which developers who are developing large townships. When I say developers, so it is just not private developers. It is institutional developers. Let's say like industrial bodies like RICO, like JTA, or any development authorities which are selling plots or making townships for public at large. So the water harvesting is missing in their schemes, and it should become a very important ingredient as a part of design. And I also feel the general public has to demand getting water from Bisalpur. It's a boon to Jaipur city, but at the same time, it comes at a huge cost. There's a huge infrastructure that has to be laid, and one Bisalpur cannot suffice, so we need our own little Bisalpurs also at the places where we work, and whatever we are developing. So in fact, we have a project at Pagi. So besides water harvesting and water sustainability exercises that we've been doing into our projects, at a larger scale, we had this opportunity of working at this project at Pagi, which is called the Future City. So future is water, future is sustainability. So water conservation we made as a very important ingredient of our design. So luckily we have a river. We have almost 3 kilometer riverfront going passing through our land. So, so we have an opportunity, but at the same time, while consulting, we consulted with many people, and we are, we realize that we have a potential of almost, storing up to almost 56 crore liter of water every year with the minimum estimated rainfall. This is what can be conserved. So what we have done is we've been able to do only, till now we have done only 25%, 30% of what is actually required to be done. But that 25-30% has encouraged us. It has given us great dividends. In fact, the area, the overall area, the surrounding neighborhood also, other than our scheme, the overall, the underground water capacity, water quality has improved. The quantity is definitely has improved. Then, greenery has, as a result, improved. Biodiversity in that area has improved. The soil color has started changing, and I have photographs which of the past 7 8 years. So it has it is changing, and there is still a long way to go. So I will, without taking much time, I would like to welcome all our speakers, and let's begin with Tejas. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anandji, and thank you very much for the giving an opportunity to share my experience and whatever that I know. At least it will help to all the professionals and other conservation. And so I'm just introducing myself. मेरा नाम तेजस है, and we have the firm called Space Elements in Ahmedabad. हम जो भी काम करते हैं उसके अंदर ज्यादातर हम रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग के ऊपर फोकस करके काम करते हैं, जिसको हम बोलते हैं इंटीग्रेटेड वाटर सोर्स प्लानिंग एंड मैनेजमेंट. वी डोंट कॉल इट इज अ वाटर रिसोर्स, so we call it as a water source management and planning. So we have been working with many developers in Ahmedabad who have been really working and developing a great campus and ensuring that water should be the focal part of the overall design. And from there, other design elements can start taking the shape. And I am just going to talk about the rain to retention. So with some context, I would like to start the presentation जहाँ पर मैं 2022 में आनंद जी से मिला था और उनके प्रोजेक्ट के लिए हमारा फर्स्ट मीटिंग था, किक ऑफ मीटिंग. और एक उन्होंने सेंटेंस बताया, जो उन्होंने बताया कि मुझे पानी को रिटेन करने के लिए कुछ काम करना है. एंड दैट वाज द वर्ड विच क्लिक्ड इन द माइंड कि अगर हम जो बात करते हैं तो उसके हिसाब से फिर हमारी एक्टिविटीज और हमारी डिजाइन जो है शेप लेती है. सो जैसे ही रिटेंशन वर्ड आया, we started talking about the ponds, we started talking about the bioswales, recharge wells, and then the whole the management plan took a shape. So with that, I'm just sharing my screen and taking this discussion forward. Please confirm it is visible.
Yes, it's visible. Yes, Mr.
Screen.
Tejas, it's visible.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I am talking about from rain to retention, and that is about the water story. और जैसे बताया, मेरा नाम तेजस है. Before starting that, I just talk about that. Are we really talking about the rainwater retention network or rainwater drainage network? जैसे ही हम रिटेंशन शब्द का उपयोग करते हैं, हमारे ख्यालात में आ जाता है पॉन्ड है, बायोस्वेल है. और जैसे ही हम ड्रेनेज नेटवर्क की बात करते हैं तो हम यही सोच के चलते हैं कि हमको पानी को ड्रेन कर देना है, पानी को बहा देना है. सो आई थिंक वी स्टार्ट विद दैट कि अभी बहुत ज्यादा डिस्कशन होता है, कोई टेंडर्स निकलते हैं या कोई आर्किटेक्ट्स या फिर कंसल्टेंट हमसे मिलते हैं तो हमको यही बताते हैं कि वाटर ड्रेनेज नेटवर्क का डिजाइन करना है. सो आई थिंक एक ये बात यहाँ शुरू एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है कि हम जो विचारों में जो बोलते हैं उसी चीज को फिर हम एक्टिविटीज पे लेते हैं. तो कैन वी रियली स्टार्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट वी वांट टू स्टार्ट डिजाइनिंग अ रेन वाटर रिटेंशन नेटवर्क. एंड फ्रॉम दैट आई थिंक आई विल स्टार्ट दैट हाउ इट वर्क्स, बिकॉज इट्स बिकम इम्पोर्टेंट कि हमारे पास जो ऐसी बहुत सारी मिथ्स है, जो मिथ्स को लेके हम काम करते हैं और ज्यादातर रियल एस्टेट सिनारियो के अंदर हम जो बात करते हैं उनके अंदर बहुत सारे मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग है और उसी मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग को पहले हमको ब्रेक करना जरूरी है. सो आई एम स्टार्टिंग विद द ब्रेकिंग द मिथ्स. So when it comes to the first myth, so rivers, borewell are the primary source of the water. तो ये हमको पढ़ाया जाता है बचपन में कि भाई वेल से टैप, लेक, रिवर ये हमारे सोर्स ऑफ वाटर है। लेकिन फंडामेंटली देखने जाए तो सिर्फ रेन ही हमारा प्राइमरी सोर्स ऑफ वाटर है, और उसी से बाकी के सोर्स जो है वो रिज्यूविनेट होते हैं। तो हम फंडामेंटल से ही हम शुरू करते हैं, तो ये सिखाया जाता है कि लेक, वेल सब हमारे सोर्स है। सो आई थिंक दैट्स द फर्स्ट मिथ विच वी आर ब्रेकिंग ओवर हियर। देन सेकंड जो हम बात कर रहे हैं कि हमारे बचपन से हमको सिखाया जा रहा है कि इसी तरीके से पूरा हाइड्रोलिक सर्कल है, लेकिन क्या ये रिलेवेंट है आज के परिस्थिति में कि जहां पर हम पानी जमीन में से बहुत सारा निकाल रहे हैं, एक्सट्रैक्ट कर रहे हैं और रिचार्ज नहीं कर रहे हैं? तो क्या हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम या हमारे फंडामेंटल्स है उसको चेंज करने की जरूरत है कि जहां पर हम लोगों को बताया कि हम रिचार्ज करेंगे पहले जो पानी को जो बहे जाने वाला है, और उसको कन्फाइंड एक्वीफर में जहां से हम पानी निकालते हैं उधर रिचार्ज करेंगे, और वहां से हम पानी निकालेंगे। तो ये हमारा नए जमाने का हमारा एक हाइड्रोलिक सर्कल है। सो आई थिंक ये एक दूसरा फंडामेंटल्स है कि जिसको हमको एस्टेब्लिश करने की जरूरत है, जहां पे हमको ये बताने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ना चाहिए कि पानी को रिचार्ज करना है जहां से हम पानी एक्सट्रैक्ट करते हैं। When we go into the myth 3, हम लोग ये समझते हैं या ज्यादातर कि भाई वी हैव अ एम्पल वाटर, लेकिन नहीं, पानी ज्यादा नहीं है, एक डिफाइंड है, उतना ही पानी हमारे पास है जितना हम यूज कर सकते हैं, उतना हमको मैनेज भी करना है। बारिश का पानी बहुत आता है, लेकिन हम जितना मैनेज करते हैं उतना ही पानी हमारा है। तो हमारे पास ज्यादा पानी है, वो एक बहुत बड़ी मिथ है जिसको हमको ब्रेक करना है। सेम टाइम हम ये समझते हैं कि जमीन के अंदर नदियां बहती है। सो जब भी हम कोई प्रोजेक्ट बात करते हैं तो ये एक फंडामेंटल क्वेश्चन आता है कि बहुत सारे जमीन में नदियां बहते हैं, बट वैसा है नहीं। अगर आप देखने जाए तो देयर आर द एक्वीफर्स। एक्वीफर्स जो बनते हैं वो सॉइल मटेरियल से बनते हैं, जिसके अंदर पोरोसिटी और परमिएबिलिटी होती है, और जो एयर गैप्स होती है उसके अंदर जो पानी जाके बैठता है उतना ही पानी होता है। सो देयर इज अ वेरी डेफिनिट वाटर क्वांटिटी अवेलेबल एंड देयर इज नो रिवर्स आर फ्लोइंग अंडरनीथ। तो ये ज्यादातर मिथ है, वो हम तोड़ना चाहेंगे, क्योंकि जब तक ये मिथ टूटेगी नहीं तब तक हम जो रियल एस्टेट सिनेरियो की जो हम बात करें उसमें हम पानी का जो रेगुलर जो इंटरवेंशन है वो हम नहीं ला पाएंगे। एंड देयर आर द एक्विटार्स जो जिसके अंदर पोरोसिटी भी नहीं है और परमिएबिलिटी नहीं है, इस हिसाब से सॉइल मटेरियल्स जमीन के अंदर होते हैं। नाउ व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट के भी परकोलेशन वेल्स एंड रिचार्ज वेल्स, तो ज्यादातर यही बताया जाता है कि परकोलेशन वेल है वो जमीन को रिचार्ज करने के लिए मदद होता है, बट इस तरीके से नहीं है। जो टॉप सॉइल के अंदर जो पानी हम डालते हैं वो परकोलेशन है, और एक्वीफर के अंदर पानी जो हम रिचार्ज करते हैं वो ग्राउंड वाटर रिचार्ज है। तो ये हमको जानना जरूरी है कि टॉप सॉइल के अंदर जो जमीन में पानी हम उतारते हैं वो पानी हमारे काम में कभी भी नहीं आता है। तो एक साइंटिफिक एक स्टडी की जरूरत है जिसके हिसाब से हम ग्राउंड वाटर रिचार्ज कर सकते हैं। When I come to the myth 6, हम लोग सब मानते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट की जिम्मेदारी होती है पानी का कंजम्पशन की, और हम उससे हम अपना हाथ छोड़ देते हैं। लेकिन अगर आप सोचिए कि सीएम के घर पे भी अगर टैंकर आ जाता है तो क्या हमारे घर पे भी आना है? तो क्या फिर भी अभी भी हम सरकार की जिम्मेवारी पे छोड़ देंगे कि पानी सरकार की जिम्मेवारी है? नहीं, वो इंडिविजुअल की जिम्मेदारी बन जाती है, और ये चीज हमको ध्यान में रखनी पड़ेगी कि नहीं, पानी सबकी जिम्मेदारी है, सिर्फ सरकार इसके ऊपर काम नहीं कर सकती। एंड देन व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट द अनदर मिथ, सो हम यही समझते हैं कि पानी अगर मिलता नहीं है तो पानी जाता कहाँ है? लाइक किसने हमारा पानी चोरी कर लिया? कोई बोलते हैं कि नहीं, एग्रीकल्चर में पानी चोरी हो गया या चला गया, कंज्यूम हो गया। कुछ बोलते हैं कि इंडस्ट्रीज के अंदर बहुत ज्यादा पानी चला गया, पावर स्टेशन पानी ले गया, और कुछ लोग ह्यूमन बिहेवियर के ऊपर दोष देते हैं कि इसकी वजह से पानी नहीं है। लेकिन इन रियलिटी अगर हम देखने जाए तो पानी किसने ले लिया? तो इट इज अ वाटर इलिटरेसी। क्योंकि जब तक हम ये मिथ के सहारे जिंदा रहेंगे और काम करेंगे, वो पानी जो है हमको मिलने वाला नहीं है। सो इट्स द बिगेस्ट इश्यू दैट द वाटर इलिटरेसी इज द रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर नॉट हैविंग अ वाटर। सो यहां से हम शुरू करते हैं कि एक वाटर स्टोरी है कि जहां पर हमने इस प्रोजेक्ट पे काम किया जिसका नाम है द फ्यूचर सिटी। तो हाउ द लिटरेसी हेल्प इन रिवाइविंग वाटर, इसके ऊपर हम बात कर रहे हैं, और दैट इज अ स्मॉल स्टोरी आई एम जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट, व्हिच इज अ फ्यूचर सिटी। नाउ हियर द लोकेशन इज इन द फागी, और ये लोकेशन अराउंड 250 एकड़ जितना है, उससे भी थोड़ा ज्यादा है जहां पर हम देख रहे हैं अभी। और यहाँ पर इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है कि हमको पानी की लिटरेसी की जो बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ, वहां हमको हाइड्रोलॉजी समझनी है, टोपोलॉजी समझनी है, रेनफॉल और उसकी जियोलॉजी। ये चार चीजें हम समझ के जब हम आगे हम सॉल्यूशन के ऊपर काम करते हैं, विच कम्स रियली वेरी इम्पैक्टफुल सॉल्यूशन। सो ये पर्टिकुलर साइट है जिसकी आप हाइड्रोलॉजी देख सकते हैं कि साइट के ऊपर कहां से पानी आएगा और कितना पानी आएगा जो साइट के आजू बाजू में उसको इम्पैक्ट करेगा। तो ये पहले हम हाइड्रोलॉजी समझते हैं, जिसको हम बोलते हैं इफेक्टिव कैचमेंट। जो ये पर्टिकुलर जो रेड बाउंड्री में वो साइट है और ग्रीन बाउंड्री में है, वो उसका हाइड्रोलॉजिकल एरिया है। एंड देयर इज अ टोपोग्राफी। सो टोपोग्राफी इज ऑल अबाउट के कितना पानी का जो कंटूरिंग क्या है, लाइक जमीन का कंटूरिंग क्या है और पानी कहां से कहां बहने वाला है और कितनी जगह पर पानी को हम रोक सकते हैं। ये पूरी समझ हमको आती है उसकी टोपोग्राफी समझते हुए। विद दैट हम रेनफॉल की समझते हैं, जैसे कि जयपुर है जो फागी पर्टिकुलर स्टेशन है, वहां पर रेनफॉल की जब हम बात करें तो ईयरली रेनफॉल है वो स्लाइटली इन इंक्रीजिंग ट्रेंड है, लेकिन बहुत स्लाइट है। और सेम टाइम जब हम बात करते हैं कि नंबर ऑफ रेनी डेज, तो वो भी 40 बढ़ रहा है, लेकिन स्टिल इट इज नॉट दैट टू मच। 40 या 45 रेनी डेज इन अ ईयर वो कुछ भी नहीं होता है। तो यहाँ पर एक जिम्मेदारी बन जाती है कि हम एक ऐसा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट करें कि जो कम दिनों में कम समय में जो पानी गिरने वाला है उसको किस तरीके से हम इफेक्टिवली मैनेज करें और आगे बह ना जाए। दैट इज एन इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट। और उसके साथ एक जियोलॉजी समझना जरूरी है कि हम जियोलॉजी में ये समझते हैं कि जमीन में कहां पर ऐसा एक एक्वीफर है जिसके अंदर हम पानी को रिटेन कर सके। तो ये हम साइट के ऊपर जाके हमने बहुत सारे रेजिस्टिविटी और जियोमैग्नेटिक स्टडी किया और हमने आइडेंटिफाई किया कि ऊपर का जो पर्टिकुलर 19 मीटर तक का जो एक्वीफर है, जो शैलो एक्वीफर बोलते हैं, उसके अंदर हम पानी अच्छे से हम स्टोर कर सकते हैं। सो देयर आर द टू, सो रेन टू रिटेंशन। सो रिटेंशन करने के दो तरीके हमने आइडेंटिफाई किए, जिसका ग्राउंड वाटर स्टोरेज वहां पर रिटेन करेंगे एंड देन पॉन्ड के अंदर रिटेन करेंगे, सपोर्टेड बाय ऑल अदर बायोस्वेल्स। और ये आप देखेंगे हमने पूरी स्ट्रेटेजी इस हिसाब से बनाई है कि जहां पर हमने अपस्ट्रीम के जितने भी पॉन्ड है, P1 है, P2 है, उससे हमने टॉप सॉइल को रिचार्ज या हमने इनफिल्ट्रेट पानी को जितना हो सके उतना किया। जहां पर हमने पानी की वेलोसिटी को हमने तोड़ दिया, जिससे कम से कम पानी आगे बहे और जितना से हो सके वो ऊपर के स्ट्रेटा के अंदर पानी को स्टॉक कर सके। और रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग को हमको बिलो जो लेवल है वहां पर हमने टर्मिनेट किया। वहां पर हमने स्लॉट्स रखे जहां पर हमने काफी करोड़ के पास नंबर्स भी है कि हमने कितने करोड़ वगैरह लीटर पानी हमने रिटेन किया है पिछले साल में। और नीचे का जो येलो कलर जो है वहां पर हम बहुत सारा पानी हमने बॉटम पार्ट के अंदर हमने उसको स्टोर किया। सो पॉन्ड्स एंड एक्वीफर्स बोथ आर द स्टोरेज एरिया जहां पर हमने पानी को रिटेन किया। एंड दिस इज द स्टोरी। जो ये जो काम किया उसका इम्पैक्ट क्या था, दैट पर्टिकुलर इम्पैक्ट में अगर हम बता जाए तो आज के दिन में हमने ग्राउंड वाटर क्वालिटी को इम्प्रूव किया है। जो हमने हमारे पास वाटर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स है उसके सहारे से हम बता सकते हैं। तो गुड क्वालिटी ऑफ वाटर नाउ इज देयर इनटू द साइट। देन ग्राउंड वाटर टेबल काफी इंक्रीज हुआ है। आई थिंक बोल सकते हैं कि पिछले साल जो बारिश हुई उससे अगले 2 साल का जितना भी रिक्वायरमेंट होगा उसका वाटर स्टॉक पूरा ऑलरेडी हमने वहां पर अवेलेबल किया है। When it comes to the water neutral campus, now this particular campus is eligible for the water neutral campus। बोल सकते हैं उनको जितना हमको कंज्यूम करना है उतना ही पानी हमने कंजर्व किया है। And then taking it forward, this is the like can be compliant, having a compliance to the green building norms, उतना हमने green campuses को बोल सकते हैं। And this is also going to happen that हमारा जो real estate valuation है, it is also based on the what quantity of water we have, because the water is going to be the fundamental part for the life। and इससे water real estate valuation भी हम काफी बढ़ा सकते हैं। And this is also going to be the generating the water credits। So particular this site is also eligible to generate the water credits। We all know that water credit is going to be the future, क्योंकि हम जितना पानी जैसे कार्बन क्रेडिट्स है, बट वाटर क्रेडिट्स also taking a shape into the industry। And when I just showing, so मैं impact बता रहा हूँ, तो ये जो है particular satellite के imaginary है. So आप देख सकते हैं अप्रैल 2020 हमने लिया है, just before the rainy season, जो एकदम dry season होता है. तो 2020 का फोटोग्राफ आप देखेंगे, 23 का देखेंगे, नाउ 2025 का देखेंगे, तो आपको ग्रीनरी से पता लगेगा कि हमने कितना पानी स्टोर किया है एक्वीफर में as well as onto the surface. So yeah, with this is a big ecological impact. The way we are talking, it's a green impact. And yeah, this is all from me. And this was a fantastic project we have done, which now take the shape, and now we can see the what impact we have brought on. And thank you very much, Anandji, for presenting this particular case study, which is a meaningful project we have done so far. And thank you for giving an opportunity. Over to you.
Thank you, Subhay. Please take things forward.
Thank you, Tejas, for that thought-provoking and solution-driven perspective that you built for us, all of us. Because from rain retention to developing aquifers and developing water literacy, as you rightly said, that's what robs us of. I'm sure that all of us are taking that lesson from us, from you here. Um, it's very unopportune that Mr. Farhad Contractor had to leave because of a slight emergency that happened, a slight health emergency that happened for his known person. We wish him all the luck and we wish all the best and get a very soon recovery for his loved one. Uh, and having said that, let's move forward. And let me welcome Mr. Dhirendra Madan as well, and architect Gaurav Parshad and Dr. Mansi who joined us. Moving forward, it would be my privilege to invite Mr. Dhirendra Madan. He is a visionary real estate leader, chairman Mahima Group, whose innovative approaches have transformed Jaipur's urban skyline. As current chairman of IGBC Jaipur chapter, he has been a relentless advocate of sustainable infrastructure and green building. I take immense pleasure in inviting him over for his talk, where he would be talking about Bhungroo technology and its impact. Mr. Dhirendra Madan, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Dhirendra Madan. Today, we stand united by a critical purpose, that is water conservation. Water is not just a resource, it's the essence of life, community growth, and sustainable development. At Mahima Group, we deeply recognize this responsibility, especially given the escalating challenges of declining groundwater levels and rising total dissolved solid TDS issues we confront daily across our project sites. Recognizing the urgency of these challenges, our dedicated pursuit of innovative solutions had led us to adopt the pioneering Bhungroo technology. This technology is from Gujarat and at Mahima Sansar, which is situated at Tonk Road, Jaipur, originally adopted to assist farmers in Gujarat. This technology, Bhungroo, its meaning is hollow pipe in Gujarat, represents the remarkable approach to water management, offering a dual solution, mitigating excessive monsoon runoff and ensuring reliable water availability during dry season. Previously at Mahima Sansar, our rainwater harvesting system struggled to handle heavy rainfall, resulting in water accumulation and inconvenience. To address this effectively, we meticulously identified suitable underground aquifers and establish uh, specialized recharge wells to direct excess rainwater underground. This initiative transforms a seasonal crisis into a sustainable asset,
Screenshots लेते रहो participants.
significantly reducing our dependence on external water resources. In monsoon cycle of 2023 and 24, this innovative technology allowed us to capture and store nearly about 4.5 crore liter of water, rainwater, with consistent monitoring and careful evaluation. We anticipate even greater success in upcoming monsoon, reinforcing our commitment to sustainability. Bhungroo global acclaims recognized by institutions such as UN, World Bank, and various environmental bodies further strengthens our results. Its implementation align perfectly with Mahima Group's ethos of innovation, sustainability, and community responsibility. Today, I reform our pledge not merely as corporate entity, but as a responsible global citizen to continually advance sustainable practices. Bhungroo is not just a solution, it's our commitment towards ensuring a resilient and water resource future for our communities and generation to come. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Madan, for for letting us know about Bhungroo technology more and about the projects that you had been undertaking with that technology in mind. Your leadership continues to bridge the gap between business innovation and environmental responsibility, and we are extremely proud to have you here with us. Next, we would like to welcome Ms. Architect Gaurav Parshad. He is a next generation bioclimatic architect whose work focuses on climate responsive design and integrating natural ecosystems into the built environment. His voice represents the future of conscious design, and we welcome you heartily, sir. Over to you.
Thank you very much and very good afternoon to everybody. I'm also representing the Indian Green Building Council here, and I'd be happy to, on the occasion of World Water Day, take you through some of the initiatives IGBC has taken on, achieving water efficiency and, more importantly, how we can move forward towards a net zero water future. So, with your permission, I'm going to share my screen because I have a couple of slides to share with all of you all.
Please.
Please do confirm to me that you're able to see my screen.
We are able to see the screen, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I'm sure most of you all are aware that IGBC has been pioneering the green building movement in the country. But what this also means is that we have been able to substantiate and also reiterate the fact that going green makes business sense. Now, as we proceed forward with various stakeholders, we have been able to ensure that India stands tall with a green building footprint of about 13.2 billion square feet. Now, all these projects which are working with us, whether they are individual residences or city level or city level projects, are working towards one common goal to be as sustainable as possible. And as we have moved forward in this journey, the next target that has been set is reaching a net zero future. Now, I say this because gone are the days where we just focus on saving water to the tune of 10%, 20%. Yes, it is very much relevant now as well. But now the industry and the entire country is discussing about how water positive facilities can be created, and also how do we create roadmaps to become water, net zero in terms of water efficiency. So we are working whether with buildings, built environments, whether it's a commercial typology or a public sector unit, we are working with everyone to ensure we move towards this net zero goal. Now, saying this, that let me also put forward to you that we are dedicatedly working with 350 plus organizations to create a roadmap and a journey for them to ensure they work towards net zero energy, water, waste, and carbon. Now, I'm going on focusing on this word net zero mainly because I want to drive this particular concept in your mind that it is not enough to just think from the perspective of saving water. We have actually gone far beyond that because we are seeing water crisis in various states. We are approaching summer rapidly, and there is a lot of conscious water saving that is being done from the government side as well. So we need to understand that unless and until we start contributing to this and not thinking of it as somebody else's issue or somebody else's responsibility, we will not be able to actually save on this precious resource. And hence, we need to think from the positive point that net zero water is and should be our goal. Now, saying that and setting the context, let me also focus and mention to you that in the year 2020, IGBC launched certain norms and guidelines on how can you approach this, what needs to be done. For example, our previous speakers spoke about how rainwater can be harvested, how the fissures and water bodies can be replenished, and so on. But even at your individual site level, the amount of rain that falls onto your rooftop, it is actually substantially high if you start collecting it, trapping it, and measuring it. Similarly, various opportunities of treating water, grey water coming from your washrooms, kitchens, all this is available. The technology, products, and materials are available in the market at very nominal rates or even sometimes low cost. Rates where you're able to work towards reusing water within your own site rather than relying on potable government supplied water. So the idea of this presentation today is to quickly give you a few pointers and showcase to you what is possible and how you can begin and further accelerate your own journey towards net zero. So I'll quickly move forward because I'm conscious of time as well. Let me first give you a definition so that we are on a common page. When IGBC talks about net zero water projects, we are basically mentioning projects. Those are those that consume minimum raw water, produce alternate water, and meet the balance requirement through various sources to give back to the nature, to give back to the source, and at the same time ensure that the net annual water consumption is zero. Now, what I mean by this is all the water that you're drawing, whether it's from tankers, borewell, or even for that matter from the government, you need to understand that it's a resource coming from somewhere. And unless you work towards replenishing that, you cannot just draw water from your borewells. You also need to be responsible enough to give water back to that recharge pit. So this is something that we are working very consciously on and educating people, unfortunately, because we do not have bylaws for it. And what we're also doing is we're trying to make this tangible. We are repeatedly mentioning that please use your calculations, understand what is total water consumption, how can alternate water be brought in, figure out what is your annual water consumption before moving ahead and understanding how to offset it and balance it. So what you see on your screen right now is a very basic rule of thumb or a calculation of how your net annual water consumption can be calculated. And further, when we move ahead, we are trying to inform people on improving your water performance ratio within site. So what I mean by water performance ratio is nothing but the alternate water that you're consuming divided by the total water that your site requires. And alternate water comes through various sources like STP, rainwater, water recharge through borewells and so on. So this can help us reduce the water demand and also help us accelerate this alternate water that we can harness very easily. Some basic things you can begin with, basic but very vital and crucial: water management systems. Unless you know where your water is going, unless you have a water meter installed to understand how much water do I put to the plants, how much water do I use for my domestic consumption, if I have a centralized air conditioner and water cooled chillers, how do I actually operate them for their efficiency? Unless we have proper management systems, it becomes difficult to start putting data together. Second and very basic thing, if I can say, water efficient fixtures, very cheaply available in the market, very easily accessible, whether it's an aerator, dual flush, waterless urinal, whatever it might be. These are very much available and can be utilized for our benefits. So I definitely encourage all of you all, even for your own homes, if you have not started on this journey of saving water, Please replace your aerators in the taps. Put aerators in the taps. They cost anywhere between 50 rupees to 150 rupees per aerator, but it gives a water saving of up to 30 to 40%. And then, of course, landscape. First, selection of landscape. Most unfortunately, people are using landscape only as a beautification object rather than understanding that landscape has lots of other uses. But when you think about water, there's a huge amount of water that goes for landscape, right? So selecting the right species which are native, local, reduce the amount of water requirement for you, ensuring you reduce turf, which is very notorious to gulping water. So, ensuring that you reduce that, having drip irrigation systems, sprinklers, water efficient sprinklers where required, moisture control sensors, if in case it is a requirement in your site, such things can also be looked into. As we move ahead, I spoke about alternate water, harnessing water. The main thing here is treatment of your grey water as well as black water. So when I say grey water, any water coming from your kitchens, taps is considered grey water. Black water is the water coming from your WCs and so on. So having wastewater treatment plants, whether it's a natural system or an artificial system, is very productive within facilities. And of course, storage of water, huge amount of water coming from your roof area and non-roof area. So having dedicated water harvesting systems, whether it's a artificial pond you create, a tank where you store, or a groundwater recharge pit you make, any one of the strategies can be adopted to ensure you harness this water. So wastewater, like I said, mechanical systems or natural systems, both are available. Of course, due to want of time, I can't get into too much detail, but the biological treatment systems which are tested over time and proven themselves are phytoremediation, root zone treatment, which can give you a water efficiency of about 80 to 85%. And of course, the traditional mechanical systems, which can give you 95 to 98% of water efficiency, that is, returning the gray water that you're using. Similarly, rainwater harvesting, you can have collection ponds, you can have storage tanks. In fact, if you see the image here, this is a very old facility which just had pipelines coming from the roof and syntax tanks installed at different locations. And this water was then reused for landscaping so that they don't have dependency on potable water. Similarly, you can have percolation pits, collecting bores if you have the space and if you are able to calculate how much of water is predicted to fall onto your particular site. And this can be done as well. In fact, for people who may not know, IMD, Indian Meteorological Department, gives you immense amount of rainfall data which can be utilized to predict your future rain. So, there are certain calculations, and IGBC also would be happy to help somebody who's interested in understanding how to predict how much of water is expected on their site. So once you collect this water, once you have your alternate water, etc., it's already also somewhere our responsibility to give it back to the source. Often, when there are heavy floods or excess rainfall in certain zones, this water goes away into the drainage. However, if you devise systems which can push it back into the ground, fissures, or hold it so that percolation happens at a rapid rate, then you're able to give water back to source. Or if you have excess water, just donate it to your neighbors, donate it to the municipality, donate it to whoever may need it. So overall, the standards and norms that we have created look into all these aspects in detail. Of course, we also offer certification post this. Certification is incidental. The journey that you adopt, the execution that you do on your site, that actually is the main value addition. And moreover, the amount of tangible benefit that you get into it, the water savings, the bills that you save in terms of water, all this eventually comes back to the facilities. So IGBC propagates this. We have certain things that are mandatory to be done, non-negotiable, and a few things which can be done based on the site context, your location, your space, and so on. So we are flexible in terms of helping you all create your journey and also look into how this can be done. So we did have a case study earlier, but let me just quickly talk to you about three levels of water saving that were done. One was at a city level where Shobha City in Thrissur was able to achieve the water positive status. So I'm talking water positive, not just net zero water, where they were able to create an artificial lake which had about 191 million liters of holding capacity, which was tremendously high, of course. And they were also able to positively give back about 20% additional water back to source despite of trapping and saving. Similarly, at a little smaller IT park level in Chennai, we were able to see Radial IT Park, which was using 100% alternate water on their site and was able to make various large sewage treatment plants of 2 MLD and trap rainwater to the tune of 1,000 cubic meter. So what I'm trying to say by showing you all this is that it's absolutely possible to look into how to approach water saving, whether it's through rainwater harvesting or alternate water saving. But the key requirements become very simple as soon as you have an intent. One, make sure you monitor it, have proper monitoring systems, like I mentioned, meters, have proper details of the sources of water from where you're using so that you're able to track and optimize them, have your water consumption data, ensure that you're able to quantify everything that you're doing, proper have your water fixtures implemented for flow and flush, like I mentioned, very cost effective and huge saving. Irrigation systems, design them properly, ensure that you're able to select the species in the right manner, work towards sewage treatment plants, work towards, because a lot of people tell us that we do not have enough space on site, but estates can be made even in narrow setbacks. You do not need to have a large area or a land for them. So it's absolutely possible to do it, and rainwater harvesting should be actually a mandatory requirement for all construction. Not sure why the government has not mandated it in most parts of the country, but we should definitely work towards having rainwater recharge and harvesting. Of course, this slide just shows you some of the companies that we are working with to create the net zero journey. But the final goal for all is the same, that they want to achieve net zero carbon. So to achieve net zero carbon, because our Prime Minister had set a target of 2070 for India to be net zero. But before we move towards that, unless and until each building typology works towards this net zero goal, the country cannot achieve net zero. Hence, we are working both from top down and bottom up. We are going to the top of the pyramid. We are also working with the larger bottom of the pyramid to ensure that this reaches the grassroots levels and we are able to estimate this knowledge on reaching net zero water as soon as possible. So I'm going to sum up here and tell you that it's an excellent opportunity right now because we have the products, we have the technologies, we have the materials. Everyone is talking about net zero because this is the future, not because it's a hot trending topic, but because it's an absolute requirement. It's the need of the hour. So work towards this, and more importantly, it gives you huge amount of operational costs. So you're not doing this just for the benefit of the environment. You're not doing this just because you love nature. You're doing this because you're getting a lot of business sense out of it as well. It makes sense to put in money. There's a return of investment. So for people who do not want to do this passionately, can definitely think from this perspective that they are getting operational cost saving. And this eventually will help towards contributing towards India's goal. And on that note, I'd like to say thank you all for patiently listening to me. And if you all have any doubts, I'll be happy to answer them as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gaurav, for that fresh and insightful look. From thoughtful design to resilient infrastructure, from community led conservation to policy advocacy. I believe that is the need of the hour. If the wars of the past were fought over land and power, I believe the next great conflict may well be fought over water. So net zero is the thing to go. Thank you so much for your insightful uh, session. Now let me invite Dr. Mamta. Dr. Mamta is an environmental toxicologist, and she had been um, a highly decorated academician and environmental technologist whose groundbreaking research spans over 100 publications, 31 international books, and 7 patents. She's one of the foremost voices in environmental science in India today. And we welcome you, ma'am Mamta, and over to you.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Thank you so much. First of all, I wish you all a very happy World Water Day. Water is life cycle. So I will start with this note since only 10 minutes are given. So I would like to immediately go to my presentation.
कैसे लो किस चीज की फोटो क्लिक करूं attendees की photos.
So is my presentation visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible on the screen.
Okay, thank you so much. So I would like to start. I am Dr. Mamta Sharma. I'm working as an associate professor in Joshi Government College, Alwar. Basically, I'm an environmental toxicologist. What are toxicologists? Let me start with that. We are the people who study poisons. इसको विश्व विज्ञान कहते हैं. तो आप सबका मैं स्वागत करती हूँ इस विश्व विज्ञान की दुनिया. So let me start with it. Everything is a poison. There is none which is not a poison. The right dose differentiates the poison and the remedy. You can kill a person by salt. Just decide the right dose for him or her. So I will start with one question to all of you. What do you do when you go to the vegetable market? Like, how do you buy vegetables? Like, if you ask me, I go to the vegetable market, I will look for some very green ladyfingers. I will look for very white cauliflower, or I will look some very shiny red colored apples. But I just take you 10 years back, or maybe 15 years back. Were the vegetables and the fruits were so beautiful? They were so big? They were not. Many people, if you might be doing the kitchen garden like I do it for myself, you will never get such big red tomatoes at your vegetable garden. So these are known as cosmetic pesticides, and they are being sprayed on the field when the flowers are blooming on the plants. And once they are sprayed, you will get beautiful looking vegetables. You will get beautiful looking red apples. But alas, they are not adding any nutritional value to it. Rather, they are adding toxicants to it, which are potent carcinogens, mutagens, and teratogens. Welcome to the world of pesticides. So, what is a pesticide? Since I'm talking about the pesticide pollution in water and its effect on human health and the environment. So, what is a pesticide? Pesticide is nothing, it's just a poison. In the household also, when you spray a pesticide or something to do the pest control, इतना खतरनाक कंपाउंड होगा जिसके भिड़ते ही जानवर मर जाता है. You spray and all ants are gone. You spray and all cockroaches are dead. You spray and there are no mosquitoes. Wow. So at the end of the day, pesticide is a poison meant to kill the pest. So this is the word of pesticide. I will start with something like this. I just went to Hanumangarh just 10 days back for presenting my work. And I see this happening in the Hanumangarh area, Ganganagar and Hanumangarh, which are known as like Annadata of Rajasthan. Maximum productions happens in Hanumangarh. Can you see these birds are flying? Can you see these birds here? This guy is just spraying pesticides. So this is the real scenario. And this is what actually it should be. It should be localized. A person should be wearing everything to save himself. And it should be only on the plant, not to the ground. And here in India, it's just being sprayed irrespective of anything. You can see the fencing, it is going to the next field also. See the birds which are flying. Why birds are there? Because whenever these pesticide sprays, the insects fly. So these birds, they want to eat those pests. But alas, they don't know. The poor bird doesn't know that it has got so much of poison in it. So these pesticides, now I'm going to confine myself to something which is known as OCPs, organochlorine pesticides. Organochlorine pesticides, they fall in the category of POPs and PBTs. What are POPs? Persistent organic pollutants. PBTs are persistent bioaccumulative toxic substances. There are three things in these pesticides. First is they are lipophilic. Second, they are persistent. Third is they are bioaccumulative. And fourth is they are biomagnifying. So I'll ask you one question. There are two habitats in the world. They are very difficult to go. I won't say it's impossible because humans can go anywhere they wish to. So there are two places in the world which are very difficult to go. One is the Mount Everest, another is Mariana Trench. So which is Mariana Trench? When you go to the sea level and you dig 8 kilometers down from the bottom of the sea, you reach to the core of the earth. That is known as Mariana Trench. So I'm sorry to tell you all that organochlorine pesticides, yeah, DDT, PHC, Gamexin, whatever name you know by them, they are found there. So I was talking about something called as biomagnification. Why these pesticides are so harmful. Suppose if 0.001 is applied in this field, it becomes 0.003 in water. And when it is being eaten by the zooplanktons, it becomes 0.04 from ppd to ppm. And further, it becomes 2 ppm. And finally, when it goes to the trophic level called as birds or humans, it becomes 25 ppm. So the application of 0.03 ppb, and finally it reaches to us in 25 ppm. This is which makes these pesticides the biggest culprit. She's my hero, Dr. Raquel Carson. Dr. Raquel Carson is a marine biologist, and in 1964, she wrote a book called Silent Spring. It is a metaphor. She said, Silent Spring. That means after some time, there will be the springs, but they will be silent because there will not be any birds chirping around. तो झरने तो रहेंगे, पर उसके साथ चहचहाने वाली चिड़ियाएं नहीं रही. Why did she say that? She said this because of one bird which is known as bald eagle. This is a national bird of USA. Bald eagle. She said that when these raptors or these birds of prey, they are eating rabbits, or they are eating small rats, or they are eating mice, or they are eating frogs, they are laden with pesticides because they are eating these herbs, or they are eating crabs, or they are living in the water is polluted with the pesticides. So what that pesticide did inside these birds, they interfere with the calcium formation. So the eggs are born. When eggs are laid, the shell is very thin. Shell is very thin. I'll show you if I have a picture. It becomes like this. As soon as the bird sits on it, instead of hatching or getting warm, they will break. So what I want to tell you is these pesticides, they have got the ability to strip off the whole species from the earth. At that time, there was only 40 pairs of bald eagles were left in America. Immediately, the federal government, they banned the pesticides. They banned DDT use. And they have done artificial breeding, and they made sanctuaries, and they saved the bald eagle. And now if you go to Georgia, like I've been there, you see the beautiful bald eagles flying in the sky. So this is a kind of interference by humans, right? Because if we want to save the bald eagle, we say, but we never wanted to save dodos, so we don't have any dodos on that. Another very sad thing I want to bring to your kind notice that at present, right now, DDT is banned in all over the world, but we are the sole producer of DDT. Even China is not producing DDT. And we are exporting this chemical to Botswana, South Africa, Zambia, Mozambique, Namibia, and Zimbabwe. India banned DDT in 1972 in agriculture, but they allowed it in public health. So what? Earth is the same, whether you use it for agriculture or you use it for public health purposes, finally it is going to the earth. So Stockholm Convention said that in 2014 to India, you should totally stop the use of pesticide, this DDT. India said, okay, we need 10 years. So we will finish in 2024. But no, India could not do it. India has further asked for 5 more years, and they are still using this poison for malaria control and for other pests. Maybe we are more strong humans. Now, why I'm talking so much about pesticides? Before I go to the water pollution, they pollute our environment, they poison our animals, they sweep off the whole species, causing ecological imbalance. In humans, they are cancer causing, they produce immunosuppression, they cause endocrine disruption, reproductive abnormalities, diabetes, gallbladder stones, whatnot. And then there's a total ecological imbalance. Then comes something which is known as neonics. These are nicotine based pesticides. We said, okay, we have saved ourselves, but again, these neonics, they are very toxic to bees. Now let's come to the water. How water is getting contaminated. We know that water is a cleaning agent. Whatever we want to clean anything, we say, let's wash it. So earth is also doing the same. Whenever the pesticides are being applied on the agricultural field, water takes it along. So from their point of application, these pesticides, they go to the vast places through water. And secondly, it becomes very integral part of the water also. So water we are consuming has got a lot of pesticides. I think you all have heard long back that some cold drink had a pesticide and some other cold drink had a pesticide. Yes, because it is made from the water and there's not even a single drop right now on the earth which doesn't have pesticides. Secondly, one more thing is pesticide resistance. If we apply 5 ppm, next time we have to apply 10 ppm because the pest or the insect become resistant to that pesticide. So पहले 5 डाला, फिर 10 डाला, 20 डाला, 30 डाला, अब हम हजार ppm के पेस्टिसाइड डाल के पेस्ट को मार रहे हैं. मैं आपको ज्यादा दूर नहीं. Let's go to Punjab. Punjab land has gone barren. They have got so much of pesticide in their land. They have added so much of fertilizers in their land that the crop they are producing, first of all, वो crop हो ही नहीं रही है उस quantity में. दूसरा जो produce कर, it is not edible. I'll just take you 6 months back. USA, America, USA and UK and Europe, they have banned taking food from us. They don't take any masalas from us. They don't take mangoes from us. They don't take tea from us. They've started taking these things from Sri Lanka, from Nepal and Thailand. Because according to them, Indian food is highly contaminated with pesticides because we are still using DDT. And I'm sorry to say the half-life of DDT is 250 years. So whatever drop we are applying right now, it will take further 250 years. We are already... See, Paul Muller in 1960s got the Nobel Prize for inventing DDT. It was an era of green revolution. It is said that it's a miraculous compound and it has given food for every mouth. But now what when it is, see, every second person around us is dying of cancer. Why? It's simple. Your air has pesticide, your water has pesticide, your food has pesticide. Even the clothes with which the clothes we are wearing, which is dyed, it also has pesticide. Welcome to the world of pesticide. This is something, see, birds are very important for us. If birds die, we will also die. So birds are at the equal threat as we are. So sometimes DDT and, see, there are two kinds of compounds. One is DDT and other is cyclodines, which are aldrins and dialdrins. DDT directly thin down the shells, but aldrin and dialdrin, they are so poisonous, they convert into HEOD and immediately this happens. This is a national bird. This is the mass poisoning because these are gallinaceous birds. They eat seeds and the seeds which they had eaten was laden with the pesticide because we wanted to store. This is how poisonous the pesticides can be. So now let's go to the water cycle. Water cycle is the life cycle. So how water get contaminated? Whenever the pesticides applied in the field, or whenever the pesticides are applied for the this public health purposes, it goes to the earth and it is drained down to our water. These are the reasons with which pollution can happen in the water. Maybe the improper handling in the agriculture, maybe the washing sites or anything. So there is a two labs of mine in my college, and we are working on the water contamination of pesticides in Alwar, Bhiwadi, Tijara. We had already seen pesticides in Bikaner, in Jaipur, in Udaipur. We have reports from every place. We are covering all Rajasthan. So we have collected samples from the different sites like this, which are being portable sites for humans. ये hand pump hai, and if somebody has gone to Alwar, this is a Silicate Lake, which is like a water reservoir for Alwar people. We have gone and collected samples from different places where potable water is being used. We have so this is the lab, and after collecting the water samples, we have extracted them for the pesticides, and we have done test liquid chromatography technique, and we have seen the concentration of organochlorine pesticides in different water samples. This is the working of the gas chromatograph. So I will take you directly here. This is the total OCPs found as of now in the Alwar samples. It is 1.7 ppb, it is 1.9 ppb, it is 1.56 ppb, and 1.6 ppb. And these are the pesticides, alpha, beta, gamma. These are the 23 parameters which we are seeing. And now I'll take you one of my slides just back to show you something. See this. Yeah, stop moving. So these are the, I just missed on my results. Yeah, here. So what FU says, the permissible limit is 0.001 ppb. And right now, we are drinking 1.7, 1.9, 1.5, and 1.6. These are the latest reports of last year. These are the abbreviations we have used. Here, this is what I wanted to say. It's 0.1 ppb, and as per EPA, the allowed is 0. So whatever we are ingesting, it is beyond acceptable limits. Maybe we are more strong human beings than others. This is something I want to talk about. See, water is contaminated. We have seen pesticide in okra, we have seen pesticide in flour, we have seen pesticide in rice. We are finding pesticides everywhere. Okay. So there is one study which was conducted in Jaipur by me. So maybe you people are from Jaipur, you might be knowing we have worked this with SMS Medical College. And we have taken two hospitals, Janana Hospital and Mahila Chikitsalaya, which is attached to Department of Obstetric and Gynecology. And we have taken 101 pregnant women admitted. Okay, so when these pregnant women, they come in labor, we used to collect their placenta, cord blood, and once they come back to the hospital, we used to collect their milk. So these are the reports of human blood, cord blood, and the placenta from Jaipur. The values are mean plus minus standard error. So I will take your concentration toward this 77.8, 43.2, 65.3, 143.24. And whatever, I'll just take you to sigma DDT is 107. It's 12.8. It's 14.70. So we are not only eating contaminated food, we are not only drinking contaminated water, we have become the storage boxes for these pesticides because we are at the top of the trophic level. I just say what we do in the morning. We get up in the morning and we look for a hot cup of coffee, right? Or a hot cup of tea. So much of pesticides are being used to make tea leaves. So much of pesticides are being used to produce coffee beans. Secondly, all the cows which are producing dairy milk, they eat grass laden with pesticides. What we do, we eat from something toxic. Either we vomit or doctor makes us vomit. So what cow does, what cattle does, they excrete all their pesticide into their milk because milk has got high content of pesticide. So in the morning, the cup of tea which we are taking is laden with pesticides. Water has pesticide, milk has pesticide, your tea leaves has a pesticide, and a ginger you add is laden with pesticides. स्वागत है आपका कीटनाशकों की दुनिया में. After that, we took mother's milk on the third day, right? And we have tested them for pesticides. I'll just take you to the last column, mean plus minus standard error. It's 0.09, 0.02, 0.09, 5.20, 0.1, 1.1, 0.1, 0.2, 0.0, lastly 0.2 and 4.3. So this is the amount of pesticide a baby is suckling which is just born. Human milk is laden with pesticides, alpha, beta, gamma, SCH, heptachlor, allrain, heptachlor, epoxide, DDE, DDT, what not? Secondly, please, the child is not physiologically as strong as we are. Baby is just born. First, the baby is being exposed in the womb of the mother because these pesticides, they cross the placenta. They are lipophilic compound. They easily go through it. Cord blood has pesticide. Placenta has a pesticide. Mother's blood has a pesticide. And when baby is just born, doctors say, please, maa ka doodh pilaiye. Yes. But what? Mother's milk has got a lot of fat. And that fat has got a lot of pesticides. So we are not killing ourselves slowly. We are jeopardizing our future generations too. These are the certain reports which I have calculated for different parts of India. Just make you aware that we have reports from Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Bombay, Calcutta, Delhi, Karnal, Lucknow, in which they have seen total DDT, total HCH in the human milk samples, and it is laden with pesticides.
Mamtaji, can I request you to?
Yeah, just summing up, sir. Just summing up.
Yes, please.
So the impact on the newborns are very clear. As I said, that we are not only we are killing ourselves, we are killing our future generations too. So OCPs have been used in India from half a century now, and still India is using 85,000 tons of OCP as of now. So what is the solution? So I'm just summing up what we can do to stop the use of pesticide and what we can do to stop the pollution of water. We can use integrated pest management. We can use some pest-specific predators. We can use some GMO, genetically modified organisms, or we can go back to our cultural practices. If you look back, farmer जब पहले होता था तो farmer आधा खेत छोड़ देता था और आधे में वो खेती करता था. And half of the वो जो खेत है उसमें वो वापस से न्यूट्रिशन, क्योंकि उसमें गाय जाती थी, बैल जाती, तो वो वापस रिन्यू हो जाता था. पर राइट नाउ अभी रबी खत्म हुई, फिर खरीफ लगाएंगे. वी डोंट इवन लीव लैंड फॉर 5 days. So our cultural practice were amazing. We can use neem, we can use some natural pesticides. And we can go back to resort to our herbal things, which are cheap, eco-friendly, and non-hazardous. Instead of focusing on whether one chemical or another should be banned, we should focus on which option is safest to use in given scenario and how to use it responsibly. Stick to responsible use of pesticides and save water pollution. These are the certain reports which we have been talking to farmers because our farmers are illiterate. They should know that they should use pesticide very methodically. These are the certain international conferences. There are 20 events we have conducted. We call farmers, we have called international people to attend it. We have called school students because awareness about the pesticide is very, very important. These are the events which we have done. These are the seven patents which we have filed with Government of India. Out of them, one is very important in which we have taken fertilizer and a pesticide mixing machine. We are going to commercialize very soon. So that measuring the quantity and understanding ppm is not very easy for the illiterate farmers. So they can use that machine. These are the 30 books which we have written. We want to make people aware that we are killing our wildlife, we are killing ourselves, future generations, and everything. These are latest publications, and this is the team which is tirelessly working to see the pesticide contamination in Rajasthan. So, secondly, one last thing I would like to tell you all that this is a very, very costly technique. For one pesticide estimation, one sample, we need 50,000 rupees. The technique is very costly. So the financial assistance provided to us by Indian Council of Medical Research and Rashtriya Uchita Shiksha Abhiyan 2.0, Government of Rajasthan is gratefully acknowledged. You can reach me at my mobile number on my email. I would be happy to answer your questions, and my thanks and gratitude to the organizers of the event. Thank you so much. You have been wonderful audience.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma, for your brilliant and scientific take on environmental risk and resilience. It's basically time for us to get literate about what we are consuming in the name of
Excellent.
organic compounds and organic foods. Being vegan, it seems, is not also an option, because even whatever we do, let's hope that your work continues to inspire and inform sustainable practices and policy making as well. Thank you so much for your time, and we really appreciate. Just a quick session announcement that Khushi, I can see that you have certain questions for us. I can see that Gaurav Sharma ji that you have certain questions for us, even Vinod Bhargav ji. The point is that we would have entertain all these questions. Just kindly put them in Q&A section, and all those who require these presentations, kindly put in your email IDs in the Q&A sections as well, so that we can share these presentations with you at the end of the day. Though it is live on Facebook, on Trimurti's Facebook account, as well as it is live on YouTube. So you can probably look at those recordings too. Okay. Now, let me take this moment to invite Dr. Mansi Balbhargav. Mansi Balbhargav is a thought leader, she's a researcher, she's an advocate for water, women, and urban livability. Her multidisciplinary approach has bridged architecture, policy, and community empowerment in totality. And we welcome her and this about to be very emotional and deeply personal insight into what she has been working. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome, Dr. Mansi.
Thank you so much, and thanks for organizing this. I wish everyone happy World Water Day, and I'm sure the conversation so far has been going very, very enlightening. And yes, not many people talk about water, so we have to gather this day to talk about water just around the World Water Day. But there are many people, as we saw from our speakers, that for them every day is World Water Day or Water Day. I'm going to talk about something very simple, and I'll also keep it simple to interact with all of you. I'm sure you had a long session today and it must be quite exhausting also. because we are not so used to of talking about water. And I'm also aware that at 6 o'clock cricket starts, which is one of the favorite things we like to talk about. So personally, I am on a mission that in a society, if we can talk about water with the same diligence and compassion and excitement the way we talk about cricket, not that water has to compete with cricket. We can live without cricket. We can live without love, but we cannot live without water. That's important for me to know. Not that I am enemy of watching people, but I will be mindful of the time allocated to me. So I have 10 minutes to speak, but I still want to know, do I still have the 10 minutes? Because the official time was 5:30 to close.
We would request you to, whether you can proceed, but yeah.
10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Ma'am,
Okay.
Maybe
officially the time
faster, then we'll not have time for Q&A. But anyway, and please go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm going to speak about something very, very simple and about water and life and bring it to our profession because the session is organized from Trimurty Group and Anand Mishra. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. My topic of today is using common sense and conscience for water in the building industry, or I can say city and infrastructure and all kinds of built environment. We can talk about it. And why I'm using these two words, common sense and conscience. I feel there is enough science happening as there is enough building industry happening across the world. But are we using common sense and conscience? I want to first enlighten all of us to inform that building industry produces almost 40% of the global waste, even more than the defense. So that is where I feel it is required. So I'm just giving one example, but I do not wish to have this conversation from the fear factor of it, because most of the time the water conversations happen from fear factor. So we have to conserve water because there is water crisis. That's the common narrative we have. And I feel that we have to start understanding water to appreciate it. And that is where conscience and common sense comes into picture. Trust me, there is ample amount of knowledge, or science as we call it, is available on the planet about water. Maximum of that knowledge or science is available for humans to understand how to utilize water. If I want to be polite, I will use the word utilize. If I want to be rude, I can use the word exploit water. If I have to talk like an economist, I will use the word appropriate water. But all of them talk about the same. So all our education system, most of it, from the engineering, built environment, planning, so I want to stick to this profession, is all about how to utilize or exploit or appropriate water in the maximum possible way. That's our direction. Ironically, in that process also, what is most interesting for me to see when I'm teaching at architecture, planning, design, in architecture, we have 5 years course, in planning 4 years course, bachelor's, 2 years, masters in both, and then people go for MPhil and PhD and all. You will not find even one credit course on understanding water. And that is where I am on a mission or a journey, I can say, that if not a formal education about water, to appreciate water, of course, use, there are a lot of education, how to use, motor lagayenge, ye karenge, wo karenge, aisa karenge. I am on a mission to really talk about water, because there is no formal education. Can we come together like this as we are coming together and just talk about water? The way tomorrow you are going to talk about how the match was played tonight. Do we do that? I will request and invite all of you. I know I have already used my 3 minutes. I invite all of you to please raise your hand. Do you sit together with your family and talk about water? Please do that. I would like to make it interactive, and also that also means that I am sharing my time with you so that you may not have questions to me. It's a very simple question. Do you talk with your family once a week? I know once a day never happens in India. Once a week, let's say, once a month. I'm getting a bit, easy on your life. Once in 2 months, once in quarter of the year, once in a year. Yes, you do. When? जब मोटर खराब हो जाती है, बोर में से पानी निकालना मुश्किल हो जाता है. मेरी सोसाइटी में अभी हुआ 1 हफ्ते पहले, मोटर खराब हो गई तो हाहा मच गया. 2 दिन के अंदर मशीन आई, पानी और नीचे जाना था ग्राउंड वाटर से निकालने, मशीन आई, लगा दिया, 1 दिन भर काम हुआ एंड फिक्स्ड इट. जस्ट उससे 10 मीटर दूर पे मेरी ही सोसाइटी में एक टैप इज लीकिंग for nearly 3 months, and I'm fighting for that, fixing that leaking tap. A leaking tap will require some 400 to 500 rupees to fix it. The bore repair, it's not the bore repair, but the motor repair and deepening of the bore took around 2 lakh rupees. My society fixed it in 2 days. But they are still not able to fix the leaking tap. That is where I am asking the question of conscience and common sense. I will have questions. I don't have anything to offer you, because as an educator, as an independent thinker, I will like questions to my society. All of you I am asking this question. The tap in this country not have a leaking. Almost 40% loss of the water supply, which is treated and offered to us on a subsidized rate as a citizen. We have it as leakage.
Hotspot.
Can we not fix the leakage? Are we really concerned? Do we call our local government when we see a leaking pipe? Do we call our plumber to fix our leakage in the WC? My annual leakage repair cost is around 5,000 rupees in my own flat. I don't find it too expensive, because even its cost is less than a Levi's jeans and shirts cost. Not that my leakage repair is going to solve the country's problem. It's not going to do that. But don't I need my own soul to be careful about doing it? This is where, for the next 3-4 minutes, I am going to share with you how you can contribute to water conversation, not for the leakage alone, but many ways, from the tap to the town. So different scales of operation, different professions are required. So I'm going to give very quickly, but you can also start thinking. For tap, I gave leakage as an example. There's a wonderful article I wrote as a white paper. You can read that. I'm not sharing any links and anything, but we also run the longest water conversation. So let me take you through from tap to the house now. So just I gave one example of tap. But every house has a leaking tap, so then I am not even concerned that my society's tap is leaking. Now you may question me why I am not fixing it. I am not a plumber. I can just go to my society and scream, fight, and get it done, or also invite a plumber to do that. Yes, that's where my conscience should be active, right? You may question that to me, and I will take it. It's my mistake. But you also have to, because we are discussing, you also have to ask this question to yourself. It's because as preachers, we should be also practicing, which I do, by the way. I try to do as much as I can, but I am also human and I am full of mistakes. So at house level, in the past, we used to have one toilet shared by the entire family. There was unity. Water was connecting all of us. We were accommodating each other's requirement. तुमको जाना है, मुझको जाना है, बाथरूम साफ रख के आना है, नहाना है. Now today, every person in the house has his or her own room and toilets. We actually promote 4 bedroom, 4 toilet house, 5 bedroom, 5 toilet house, and blah, 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 blah. Now, what is the scenario in every house now? The water which used to connect all of us for everyday chores now divides us. How? Not the toilet alone. Now parents cannot get into their children's room. They have to knock and take permission. They cannot get into their toilets and see what's the situation. Likewise, and other things. Children cannot get into their parents' room without knocking and saying and so and so. So somewhere, the water which was connecting us is dividing us now with our social construction. Our privacy became much more important than our collective living under one shade. From house to society. I live in a 200 flat society. I think the designer, architect or builder could have easily taken into account, when I was very young when we bought this, into account the wastewater recycling. With this such huge, we have a central park like this, they could have easily taken into account the rainwater harvesting, easily taken into account not growing grass in the society. Grass is one of the biggest devils of water conservation, and every society is growing grass because we want to have a very Western kind of township. These are the ways you can save water, not having them. All these flats could have had double plumbing system because builder never pays from their pocket. If they had double plumbing system, they would have anyway taken charge from us as buyers, no? So they can be put into the system, drainage system. We could have also had a system where all the kitchen and bathing waste water could have gone to other outlet where we could have recycled, and wastewater could have gone to the main line of the city. From township, I go to the neighborhood scale. My neighborhood has a lake. If my plumbing system and drainage system were separate, we could have even made an arrangement at a neighborhood level. I'm giving you actually the ways our city should be built. Those water could have been actually made primary retreatment and brought to the lake. The lake would have had water, better water. From one neighborhood, Ahmedabad had 630 lakes. I'm just jumping scales because just to give you a flavor where we could have used common sense. And this common sense would only be put to operation if we are really holding our conscience, which is value, which is spirituality. And it is not about religion or anything else. Ahmedabad had 630 lakes when I did my master's. When I did my PhD, it had 122 lakes. 520 lakes were eaten up just after when we had the National Lake Conservation Plan. The first lake conservation plan came to the country to save the lakes of the country, and my city lost 520 lakes. Because we have to understand where our industry, building industry, comes into picture. A lake lost is a land gain. And all the city local authorities, all the builders, all the rich people, they have understood this phenomena. That a lake without water is a land. Then it is very easy to take it up. We have to now look into our crisis which is going on. But I am not interested in looking at crisis. I want to inform to you that if these lakes are there, if these water systems can be saved, we can be saved. Because we have to understand we are talking about only 0.3% of the planet's water that we have to manage to keep it clean. You can imagine that is also the scenario that a polluted water is having only 0.3% of pollution and 99.7% is water. So humans are very powerful. We already heard how powerful we are through the example of Rachel Carson and DDT. So we are polluting the whole 100% with only 0.3% of wastewater or solid waste for that matter. So I think we are really not short of technology. We are not short of science. What we are short of are these two things. And these two things will only get elevated when we talk about water with the same aggression, with the same passion, with the same concern, the way you talk about cricket. Happy IPL. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, it really was a very emotional connecting address from your side. Believe me, being a mother to two, I am scared about more about that what health am I providing them, what legacy I'm going to leave them. And I'm sure that they are every generation then generation, if we get aware, even by 5% by generation, we might be able to save this earth. Thank you so much for this. As we likely said, that this was a very social, emotional, and a very deeply personal insight. And thank you so much. It was equally deeply enriching. I hope that even if we are able to take 10% of what our eminent speakers did for us today, and we are able to carry it out in our life, believe me that the biodiversity would flourish and we as humans would have a better chance of living. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We now open the floor to a few quick questions from our audience. And if you have dropped your questions in the chat, we'll take a couple of them here. I'll be opening the chat here. There are certain people who have been very eager to answer. They have raised their hands. If I hope that they have dropped in their concerns and their questions here in the chat box. So, first of all, there's a testimonial from many people. Bhagwan Singh ji has been saying that it's a very nice session, sir. Gemini ma'am has said that Anand sir, that has been very well spoken and very well adopted. Thanks to Mr. Madan for appreciatively and being very precisely about Bhungroo technology. Most of the people are asking for these PPTs, and good that we made this choice of going on Facebook Live so that people can refer back to it. And yes, the ones who have already shared their what you call email IDs, we would be forwarding this to them. From rainwater retention, we wish we could have heard Farhad ji as well, to Bhungroo technology, to net zero, that what Gaurav Parshad ji had mentioned. And Dr. Mamta, it's a very scary proposition for a person who has been battling chronic diseases. Getting to know about something like this is an eye opener. I wish that everyone can get up and probably smell the coffee. It's right time that more than cricket, we need to be very much aware about these initiatives. And thanks to Trimurty Group for taking this opportunity of starting this conversation. And we hope that this would continue for a longer period of time on a very regular basis. Q&A sessions. Khushi has said that in the context of Rajasthan's small and medium towns, how can traditional water management systems like step wells, johars, and lakes be integrated into modern urban planning to ensure sustainable water conservation while preserving cultural heritage? So, any answer from you, Mr. Tejas Joshi or Dr. Mansi?
Yeah, I can answer then. These all are the elements or structures already exist over there. Few more can be also constructed. But now, before doing that or reviving that, we need to really understand the groundwater study. So even if we do and the water doesn't reach to the step wells, then it is no use. So I think right now we are working for Ahmedabad, the whole urban area water management, and we are literally tagging the all step wells, and then we are ensuring that what new recharge wells we do that has to infiltrate and goes into the step wells, and then it can be revived. So I think that can be doable, fantastically done. So I would be happy to make even share sometimes if the possible how we are doing it. So yeah, it is a doable. Yeah, Mansi, you can add into that.
Yeah, I think wells and step wells rejuvenation across the country has been on the architecture side of it, not on the water side of it. And please bear with me, I'm a very brutally honest person, and that's what I had also mentioned to Anand that I will be really straightforward on it. So most of the money is put on the architecture of the step wells. So not on the water side. Even those who are doing it, no offense to anybody, it is not in their hands to ensure water into those step wells. We have to understand, and I will put it very straight away with the statistics. Most of the cities, urban areas are depending on 70% groundwater extraction for all kinds of consumption, as I mentioned, the three words from three disciplines. In that scenario, having water in the lake or having water in the step well is a matter of not having water in the ground. So in Ahmedabad, unfortunately, unaccounted, we also put Narmada water in many of the lakes. And even for that matter, if required later on for tourism, it may be also put in the step wells. I will not be surprised because there's already so much of water, so much of money put in making the architecture again revived. So I will be very cautious when we are conserving these traditional harvesting system without understanding the whole hydrology of it. Water system is not a standalone entity. 99% of the lake developers, designers think that a lake is a standalone entity. A lake is a flowing, connected water body. Its shape is different than a river or a nala. That is the biggest misconception we have when we do this chowpatty and lakefront development. We try to convert a pond into a lake, into a deeper water body, and then lake into a lake development. Every lake development, I have my PhD on lakes in India. Every lake development has resulted in from 10 to 25% of reduction in the lake area, but yes, increase in the depth of the lake. So the local authorities always give the argument, but dim to utna hi raha pani ka, without realizing that the volume does not define the health of the lake. Whose right is on the lakes first? I believe it's the rights of the fishes. If we want to claim right on the land, fishes have the first rights on the lake. In a society where we live and we discriminate between human beings, rich or poor, jati, dharam, blah, 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 we are far from really embracing that the lakes are for people. So please do not appreciate lakes which are developed for human recreation. Recreation is our biggest enemy of humanity's evolution into a conscious society. We do not have this earth for recreating ourselves all the days. We don't have to recreate ourselves. We should be able to enjoy wilderness, able to enjoy a dry lake, able to enjoy the fishes in the lake. We don't have fishes in Ahmedabad, in any of the lakes, and the indigenous fishes in Sabarmati lake. So I don't believe in those kind of conservation effort. I will be straightforward on that. I think we have to understand water before spending crores of rupees on riverfront, lakefront, and lake rejuvenation and all. Please understand the battle between fishes and humans are at the edge of the lake where we concretize. The moment you concretize or put the stone on the edge of the lake, you already killed that lake. It's the Fasi ka fanda for the lake. Because all the mating and procreating of amphibians happens on the edge of the lake. So for you to walk your dog or girlfriend and boyfriend, we make the lake garden. A lake is not a garden and I can fight for it for all my life. I can fight with anybody, literally physical fight also. Please, a lake is not a garden. A lake is not a park. A lake is not a forest. A lake is a lake. Accept it as a lake. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There are many questions that need to be answered. I wish we had that kind of time for all. I have noted, I have recorded all these questions, and I would probably ask the panelists on a personal mail basis that if these could be answered and we could post them through our Trimurti's LinkedIn page, and people Follow the LinkedIn page for Trimurti for next few days to come, and you would have all the answers, all the questions answered by a panelist. Thank you so much. Let's continue to build, but not just buildings, but a better world where every drop counts. And I wish that you have a very wonderful evening. And I really hope this conversation inspires action in our own communities, institutions, and cities. Thank you so much, all the panelists. I am overwhelmed by the kind of responses I've received from the guests, from the attendees, from the panelists. Thank you so much. Anand sir,
Thank
you
you.
have some kind
Thank
anything
you.
to add?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mansi.
Thank you.
Tejas,
Thank you.
and everyone, and all the attendees. It was a very insightful conversation, and thank you again. Let's,
Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Take care and stay wet.
yeah, we'll stay in touch.
Stay wet.
Stay wet, yeah.
Thank you so much. And definitely, it's not the lake, quantity of a lake or a quantity of water is the quality of water. Let's maintain the quality. Quantity does matter, but quality at most. So stay safe, stay away from pesticides. Thank you so much, and it's
Thank
wonderful
you.
to be here.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.